Hi there, people. It's Chris right here with.
Hey Oz, and today we're talking about more weird ass magazines.
Yup! We have on our list today the following. We have the Argosy, Time, Ballyhoo, and a few new additions. Just like last time, we have, in this case, Weird Tales, the Secret Agent X, Jinx, and the Fancy Fan, and anything else we want to include later on. Depends
Yeah.
how much we want to do this. Of course, first on the list is the Argosy. Let me just change the screen real fast because I have a window capture for this shit. Make sure we're doing the right one. I don't want to put on something that's not very pog champ. All right, there we go. I'll screen share so you can see this shit. All right, look at this cover. That's poorly maintained.
Arse Perry Wormshire. Ooh, this is taking advantage of the zombie craze that was happening in the mid 30s.
Yep, A Chilling Mystery of a Haitian Black Magic by Theodore Roscoe.
It's been kind of neat to have your story be the front cover for these one of these magazines.
Yeah. Um. ooh. Ooh boy. A
Oh,
grade
this
must
is
be.
full of art.
Yes, it is. And you know what that means with the shit talking. Or be very impressed.
You know, I don't mind this.
I like it, but then I see the people behind the soldier.
We probably won't be reading this story.
Probably. Hey, look at him. It's like a fucking comic book character.
It is cool that they sometimes will just give you the image for what a character looks like.
His name is Pete. This is a woman. Peter's daughter, Pete.
Or it could be that guy from that one story about mermaids. You
Yeah, I remember that one. Like maybe your son, Dick.
Stuffin. Oh my god, this is a long one. Good thing we didn't read it.
Yeah, this is
We would have been here all stream.
oh, again. This is a two-parter.
Oh jeez.
Oh, what is this?
Bottled from de Barrel. Oh, fuck, that's supposed to be racist. Oh, I did not realize.
Oh no. The biggest money's worth is a crab orchard drinking Kentucky whiskey. No artificial aging, no artificial coloring, bottled from the barrel, price low enough for everyone. Crab orchard.
Artificial aging? What the fuck is artificial aging? How do you?
Let's see here. And
Oh, do they mean like coloring the booze to make it look older than it is?
so what it is a form of technology. Basically, it quickly quote, unquote, ages the whiskey, but it basically degrades certain polymers inside the whiskey. So it's kind of it makes it taste off from actual traditionally aged whiskey.
Ah, so it's cheap.
Yes, true aged whiskey is actually properly aged.
Fair enough.
As always, I have to check and see if Crab Orchard whiskey is still a thing. It in fact is. I'm impressed. Uh, zoom out a little bit. Yeah, this is not one we're going to be reading. It's so YouTube Argosy like stories. They're relatively short, but this is a multi-parter.
Mm.
See, this is the third one. Oh, it's a femboy.
Oh goodness.
This is the second time Argosy. I'm starting to see a trend. There's either a femboy or a woman who is very flat chested. No, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I was already knew there were some comments on there like, what's wrong with having no titties? Well, outside of biology and children, it's okay. This is like fucking four parts. I
No, it's is this entire magazine just this one story?
I'm impressed actually. In fact, I support that because it's kind of cool.
I did not realize this entire thing was just going to be. Oh, never mind. There's another story. Just
Yeah.
kind of.
To be continued next week.
I may have to start getting into pulp.
Just imagine you're reading a story. It's like the best damn part. To be continued next week. They want you to buy it next. They give us fucking 90 pages worth of content. They're like, okay, well this is where we'll end this one. What's the damn point? Just end it off with this whole magazine at that point. It's almost over. Shall we hold on? Let's see how far the eminent Corsair humorist fucking goes. Oh, not that far at all. It's literally a page later. We get to this shit again. Let's read something we can actually read. Yeah.
Yeah.
Blackbeard, the famous and conceited English freebooter of the early 18th century, egotistically believed and prided himself with being the greatest entertainer of his men and one of the cleverest humorists that ever strode a deck. His ideas of amusement, however, were somewhat wasted on his crew. One stifling hot afternoon in 1716 in the Caribbean Sea, during which his corsair ship lay becalmed not far off the coast of the island of St. Thomas, Captain Blackbeard, after spending some time in his cabin devising a novel plan of devilry, which he proposed to put into operation, came upon the deck shirtless and barefooted. One of his men before him, the buccaneer, suggested that they created a miniature of hell of their own, thinking that sooner or later they would all drop anchor in the lower regions. So why not find out beforehand which one of them could endure it the longest? Oh my god. Hesitantly but tactfully, the crew readily agreed to Blackbeard's precision, knowing their refusal meant raising an inferno that would far and severely surpass the invitation. Pleased at the seemingly popular approval of his suggestion, Corsair leader, with the kicks and curses for those who lagged reluctantly, drove him into the depths of a ship's hold and entered himself and securely fastened the hatches. Did this motherfucker use the anchor to sink his men down below?
That's terrifying.
That's some real fucking savage shit right there. Seating himself, Blackbeard ignited some kegs of sulfur and calmly waited the effects. Needless to say, the Buccaneers stood the fumes for a short time, only and quickly decided that they would rather take their time going to the inevitable hot spot than to arrive there in advance. Coughing and gasping, they smashed through the hatches onto the deck, leaving Blackbeard below to breathe the sulfur. While after a day's crew cleared their heads, the Corsair humans came jubilantly out of the hold, whistling to the end of his career, bragged of his feat of being the last one to give in.
Ah.
So hearing is he's a dick of a captain.
Yeah.
I mean,
assuming this is true.
Assuming so. And I'm not trusting a magazine from, what, 1934 about some guy in 17 fucking 16.
Especially considering it's a magazine about fiction.
Yeah, looking at this, basically, can be continued next week. This either is a case where they merge together a bunch of magazines into one, which I'm assuming is the case. That's okay. If you guys want to read this one, which I assume it's a good mag, considering how much it does, give it a go. Me though, yeah, no. This is our boy, fucking Pewee. That's what I call him.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, look at his face. Obey Pewee. Obey Pewee. So
I love how we go from such a powerful image to here's a White House.
So a house worth calling home is worth protecting with Dutch boy. The fuck's a Dutch boy? Well, not a Dutch boy, but a Dutch boy.
It's paint.
Yeah. It's also still around today. Good for Dutch boy paint. It's in Ohio too, which the Dutch did not colonize and colonize Pennsylvania. You would think it would be,
Don't worry about it.
An honest and true record of the germicidal rank among antiseptics now on sale. How about no?
How about nah? Why? What's? I'm not saying a word. What does that say? That ad? I'm not saying a word against our mother, but why doesn't she get us petty johns?
Men folks, young and old, long for a different cereal. And Petajohn. What the fuck is a Petajohn?
My favorite part of this series is discovering brands that I have never heard of.
Oh my god. Is this still around? It's a whole wheat cereal that was. Okay, this makes no sense to me. So it was introduced in 1889, and yeah. Is it still around? Uh, it doesn't say, but it was a cereal, and
Huh?
here's a whole link, Oz, to that content. If you want to read
Mm.
that content.
I missed the breakfast is a website I did not knew that I need. Oh, this looks terrible. What is this
Yeah.
cereal? This looks awful. Is it just like cornflakes?
I think so.
Let me see. Hides the bran in delicious flakes of rolled soft wheat. What? Tell me what it is. I don't know what this is.
It's a grain cereal.
Oh god, like grape nuts?
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh god, no. No one's asking for this. I can guarantee you.
Financial independence through life insurance. As an American, I can tell you that's some bullshit.
Through life insurance. You're not going to be the one getting the financial independence. You'll be dead.
Ever sweet. I'm gonna say invisible. That's crazy work. Ever visible ink supply and 1 or 2% more of it. You
Oh.
know, ironically, I think back then they actually were giving you more in comparison to now. We're like, yeah, it's only 5% more ink. Can't even tell the difference. Swear to God, the printer I have is so ass. Dictaphone,
uh,
dictaphone.
Dictaphone. There you go. I was not looking at your the stream for a second. I heard dictaphone. I'm like, what? What? Hold on.
Money savers for 17 years. Oh,
Ah.
did that work out for you guys? I bet it didn't. They have always been good. This latest Goodyear oh my god, Goodyear.
Like Goodyear tires?
Yeah,
Ah.
they're around. They're doing
Mm.
things. National affairs, the presidency, trade and tariff. Ah, the good
Mm.
old days.
Mm.
Oh, this is fucking Roosevelt. Nah, fuck him. I ain't reading this.
Mm.
Okay, Congress. Generosity versus generosity. Congress being generous? This ain't America. This man looks depressed. You would have a archive of this. It's pretty
Mm.
bright, so I can't really read it too well.
Yeah.
We'll skip past all this dumb shit. Where's my boy named Pewee at? Let's see Pewee. Come here. Germany. Let's see what our boys are doing. Swastikas, man and boy.
Ah.
Oh no. I wonder what they're doing over there.
Ah.
Nothing bad, guys.
Oh. Yeah. No. I'm sure. I'm sure it'll all be fine.
There's nothing wrong here yet. It's okay. Sweden and old Nicaragua.
Ah.
It's a bad bitch right there.
She looks like she stabbed me.
I love it.
Celery makes that's a lie.
Campbell soup. Who the fuck's? Oh wait, is that the can? Wait, Oz, you heard that one Chef Boyardee commercial with the can following the little girl home?
Oh yeah.
If it wasn't fucking protected, I would have been gonna show it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it is.
Changes in engine double the punishment.
Mm.
Mobile chart. Find our car. Some of these don't exist anymore, by the way, people. Unfortunate.
Oh no.
Let's see the ones I actually recognize. A Buick. This still exists, I think.
Yeah,
Uh,
Buicks are around.
Cadillac, of course. Chrysler, DeSoto. It's not a thing anymore.
Mm.
Franklin. I don't think they exist anymore. Hudson. They are under new management. Hunt Mobile. Don't know what that is. A Pontiac. We don't know what that is. Plymouth. Those are gone. Pierce Arrow. No, I never heard of it. Oldsmobile. And that's obviously gone. Nash. You mean like the TV show? Lincoln, those are, I think they're still around, kinda. Let's say Lafette, yeah, a lot of these are gone. It's not, it's kind of cool though seeing some of these. They existed.
Yeah.
Design now give oil of 3 years ago.
Mm.
Oh, oh, say goodbye to winter.
What? No, I don't want to. I love winter.
I hate winter. Oh, I hate it. If you feel you cannot endure the cold of the north any longer, come to the Bermuda Islands, where the equivalent winter element, climate avoids the extremes of heat or cold. Bullshit, it's hot as fuck down in Bermuda. What are you on?
Yeah, I know. Isn't Bermuda tropical?
Yeah, it can get pretty hot.
Mm.
Oh wait, can't forget. This is back then before the whole climate change. Also, people, this is for the algorithm. The Canadian election, eh? Crazy.
Watch us get in the YouTube trending by accident.
Russia,
Oh goodness! Can
Japan.
you imagine? No, no, never mind. I'm not doing it again.
The Stevens, Chicago. What the fuck is the Stevens?
It's like a hotel.
I think so. The Stevens Hotel, Chicago. Oh, okay. So the Stevens became the Hilton. That's a really interesting bit of history. I I didn't know that the original name of the Hilton Hotel was the Stevens Hotel. Huh.
Oh, that's weird.
That is a neat piece of history I did not know about. This was all about for real. Oh, look, another bad bitch. I'm gonna say that, but they're like, hey, everybody's like 10 years old. I'm like, oh, fuck me. Forgot that.
I can't. She's the Empress,
She
so
might be.
I'm gonna keep. I'm gonna keep my opinion to myself. Actually, I don't have an opinion. I'm not into people from the 1930s. Yeah.
Hey, if there's a clear image and they look goonable, I will say a comment. I don't care. I don't care if it's 1,000 years back or 1,000 years fucking forward. They're getting a comment. Do you mean to say that's a movie camera? Look at this little thing. It's
Okay. I know quite a bit, a little bit about not quite a bit. I know a little bit about film cameras. If a camera's that small, it's shooting in like 10 millimeter. That shit is terrible.
it sure is, and a good one too. Eastman makes it.
He's a liar, actually.
Imagine getting movies like these the first time you tried. Pretty simple, wasn't it? All I did was press the button. Oh man. Oh man, look at that. It's a press of a button? That's crazy shit. What fun is it to make movies? Movies that okay, this is like one of your personal movie makers. Good for them.
Yeah. Imagine making a home movie in the 1930s.
That's some crazy work. Look at this man. This man looks like he owned himself a few dozen slaves.
Oh, he's an. Oh, goodness. What? Man did not live long after this. He looks old.
Yeah, mentions the Civil War.
Yeah.
American one class in a class by itself. Baltimore Mail Line. Oh, the good shit.
Ah.
Oh, a Chevrolet.
Mm.
Ooh, boy. Drive it in only 5 miles, and you'll never be satisfied with any other low-priced car.
I see.
All this is 5 miles, huh?
Oh, your own ships? What? That's why your own ships are so popular. What? American travelers know what they want and what they are getting it on. What and they are getting it on the new American sister. Oh man, that gave me a stroke. Sister ships Manhattan and Washington. Uncle Sam is playing host to his two magnificent. Fuck, I can't read this. Why did they wrote it like this? South Africa will fascinate you. What? Will it? In the 1930s? I don't think so.
Well,
I think
this is before the really bad times and all. Oh.
this is the Depression, though.
Yeah, but don't forget, it's a good it's a grand old white country still. Before all the
No, no. Get
no,
the
no, you know what? No, no,
Don't make me
no.
get the spray bottle.
Our viewers
I will
aren't
get
even
the spray bottle.
our viewers aren't even South African, and plus, it's almost undebatable. It was okay. It's racist as fuck, but the country was actually better under white rule. Prove me wrong. I'll wait. You can't do
Well,
it.
it's because they were oppressing anyone who wasn't.
And now it's dog shit.
I don't know. I don't know much about South Africa,
Except for
to be honest.
except for they're trying to genocide anybody who isn't them.
Oh,
That's all you need to know. Bell System Telemetry Writer Service. Surgical, food, metals, mail order, and many lines of business.
something I love about old advertising is it almost sounds ominous sometimes.
Ooh, textiles.
Like, imagine telling someone, "We are in many lines of business." It sounds like you're threatening me.
You know what other businesses? Many lines of other businesses.
You're like, "I have a monopoly. I am telling you."
BlackRock slowly appears. How do you do?
Oh, don't tell me you believe that.
It's actually undebatable. BlackRock has a hand in many other lines of businesses. Just look at their portfolios. That's real. That ain't fake. That's not conspiracy. That's real life. That's a fact checkable one too. Delco Motors keep the home fires burning. What the fuck is that?
Yellowstone. Smokey the Bear got a little burnt.
Parker House. We meet on common ground. I imagine it's not
Also,
a thing. Hmm?
I'm not trying to be combative, but I just checked, and BlackRock does not hold any more than 0.5% in any company.
Hey, you're from a combative? And we're gonna be here for a long time. Let's drop it.
I'm not. I just told you I'm not. That's just what the data says.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, let's see what the Parker House is all about. Parker House. Oh, they still exist. Good for them. Parker House. Oh, it's called the Omni Parker House now. Oh, no. Okay, the current structure is still around. Okay, I see.
I love how Yellowstone is advertising that their train has air conditioning.
Luxury Speed, the Honolulu, and the Orient. Hmm. Hmm. Canadian Pacific.
Fair enough. Honolulu, Japan. This is a terrible time to be going to Asia. In 1934? I mean, Hawaii is fine. It's fucking Hawaii.
It's a weird looking baby.
The Detroit business head likes their economy. What? Hello?
I'm here. I was looking at
Okay,
this.
cool. Speedweed stamina. Crash proof bodies. I do not trust anyone who says anything is crash proof.
Ooh, $645. Banging. Dictator, commander, and president.
I don't think I'd want to buy a plane that is called the Dictator.
I want to own that shit. Shit sounds banging. Mmm. Here. Ma says, be careful of the. Ooh, look at them.
Better Homes and Gardens. That sounds like a woman's magazine from the 30s. Yeah.
What is the fuel of a human body and who cares? You do, reader, for the answer is carbohydrates. That's okay.
Caro. What's Caro?
I'm not sure. See, it seems to be the brand of the time. I'm looking it up, amongst other things. Caro. Oh, it's a syrup brand.
Only. Ah. Oh, I've heard of Caro. Yeah, it was a thing for a while.
Still a thing now too. They do a whole lot. Weird.
Yeah.
Also, to not be combative, they own around 8% in most major banking services, including JP Morgan. Anyway, that too. Money, Jesus Christ. Super Eye. What's a Super Eye? Last summer, the skilled hands of the RCA, Victor Koz, Dr. Vladimir Kosimov, that's a long fucking name. Sounds like Russian. I don't like Russians. No, I'm kidding. $1 dollar. Yeah, I don't care. In a Graham. Ever have an outboard spring ride? $695.
Ah.
Baby Adolf. Hello, Baby Adolf.
Oh no. Is that who I think it is? Oh, yep, that's him.
Yeah.
It's an ugly baby in that first photo.
From a Sunday rotograde page of the Chicago Tribune, fortnight ago appeared the faces of two small creatures. One was a pudgy-jawed monster, the other was a meek-looking infant with bangs. See cut, the ugly picture had a credit line, Acme Photo, the other one was a credit to the German consulate in Chicago. Below, the pictures are copied. Attained the age 1 year, blah, 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 blah. This is baby. Adolf Hitler, false and true, the consul general got the credit. Letter, blah, 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 anniversary of the blah, blah, blah. The alleged baby, oh, so this is the alleged one.
Ah.
This is the real one.
I feel like that first one probably isn't it.
Yeah, this is an alleged one. It was just trying and mock him. As for example, the very famous one where they were trying to mock old Napoleon by he's like shorter than he actually is, even though he's actually average.
Yeah, he was short by modern standards, but for his own standards, he was a normal height guy.
Yep. I remember the movie Night Museum, which apparently is getting a whole new movie after all this damn time. They actually did the whole Napoleon is short thing.
Ah, fair.
All right, I think is enough of time.
Thoughts?
A lot of it funny shit. A lot of it funny shit.
Yeah.
Ballyhoo time. This is the cover. Get over yourself, peoples.
I can't get over how crudely drawn it is.
Hey, better than showing the DeviantArt.
I think think it's on par.
Nah. Fucking inflation fetishists everywhere. This is superior.
Fair. I was talking more about the quality of the drawing itself, but yeah.
They laughed when I sat down in Nadrowski.
I love how modern that image on the left looks.
They're asleep in the palm of your hand. Absarine Jr.
Mm.
I doubt it actually helped me. I doubt it would.
Probably
Oh.
wouldn't, yeah.
Adleft's Ballyhoo pays 10 for each Adleft printed.
Ah.
Okay, so this is about a whole rant about horses. So on my Facebook fucking page for reels, every damn time I go to look at a damn reel, in the top 3 reels I get, one is about horse vagina. I'm not kidding. One is a pig,
Wait,
and one is
what did you do to get that on your For You page?
I don't know. So one's a horse vagina, one's a pig vagina, and one's an Asian man doing backflips.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not
Thank you
kidding.
for the cursed fact now that I now have to do this, that I now have to worry about.
Like it's something that it's so weird to me, and they gave Mona Lisa. If Mona Lisa
Mona.
could have used Maybelline, it's like a whore, a modern day
Uh,
whore.
I I'm gonna be honest. I think the one on the left is better.
Before the doctor prescribed Virginia dairy milk, after being built up by the Virginia dairy milk, she multiplied.
Yeah, she became two people.
So you're telling me we can have it? Okay, Oz, hear me out. If we can multiply humans, we could kill the duplicate and have infinite food source. Think of that. The fucking world hunger would disappear forever. This is innovative.
Mitosis with the Virginia dairy milk.
Okay, whoever made this shit, we just gonna find them and thank them. This cured world hunger. Of course, we'll be cannibals, but hey, you can't have progress without cracking a few eggs. Wonder how I taste. Go west, young. Okay, trust me. Do not go west. Do not go west. Your future sentence. We're gonna regret it.
Young woman, get in shape for the new styles by wearing a pneumatic brisket. Oh, oh my God! You, it's a fucking airbag you stuff in your bra.
I gotta fake it till you make it.
You're kidding me. They were oh my God! People have not changed.
I love humanity. You know, I was always told that a lot of girls that were around during my ops time, they used to stuff their shit with damn fucking tissue paper. And these people were like, "Hey yo,
Yeah.
what if I just use this inflate this shit?" I mean, technically that's a better method because you can tell it's like something being stuffed. What is this? What you know? I forgot to take off the skates. Hey, yo, no, don't get our stream taken down.
All right then.
We want Elmer Zilch. Who the fuck is Elmer Zilch?
What do they want him?
It's like a fucking. You know, he looks like a proto version of King Cobra.
It's his ancestor, and everyone wants him for some reason.
Yeah, dude, he has that tactical fucking the tactical soap. It's a pheromone booster. It gets the ladies interested in you. It works guaranteed. Or your money not back because they're gonna rip you off. You fucking losers.
Yeah, every time none of these things are probably all. If you have to advertise in a magazine, I'm convinced you're probably a scam in this era.
Oh, most definitely. Especially Campbell's fucking soup. It doesn't work. Trust me, it doesn't work.
What do you mean it doesn't work? What is it supposed to do?
It's supposed to combat it's supposed to combat my common cold. It's not working. It's all placebo effect, kids. Remember that. Whoa, buddy. Whoa.
Oh man, Ballyhoo is pushing limits.
Can I give you a lift? No thanks. I'm riding a horse. I don't get it.
It's because horses sink in the mud.
Yeah, but the visualization is makes it like this is a massive stream and not
Oh, we should
mud.
skip to the next page before that second flash gets us taken down.
Oh shit, that's banging. We should probably screen these where we look at them.
This should be fine. It's so low res and so like crudely drawn. I don't think it'll be a problem.
Oh, General, you think of everything. Okay, I get this one. He took off all his medals, put on his back, and that's how he can hold his woman.
Could you imagine getting held by a guy covered in medals? That sounds terrible.
But also badass because he earned all his medals, unlike some of the generals nowadays. Fucking pussies. Fucking fighting real wars like real men and women.
At least you're equal about that, I guess.
Yeah, because we have women in our army. We gotta pay respect to all the queens, man. Even though they're getting fucking plowed out in the fucking field. It's a whole thing.
I mean, to be fair, if you've read any stories about the military, everybody getting plowed.
Yup, especially the damn Navy. Woo! They're trying to get us fucking clapped.
You said it, not me.
No, look at this. They gave her some cake. Down with everything. The best red magazine in the U.S. The price is 15 rubles. Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Why? I wish sis would stop wearing my pants.
They caked bro up.
Oh, I get it. She stretched out his pants. I get it. Oh, okay, that's funny.
Well, they made bro caked up.
No. Okay, that makes more sense.
Down with everything. Erotic obsession. Chosen Miss USSR, Olga Busevich, who won the Soviet Beauty Contest and was her face red.
I love how they just show a picture of a very average Russian woman. I get it.
Thunder over Yonkers. That's a fucking oldie. Poets Revolt. Free verse down with capital letters.
I love how some of this is clearly like political satire and other parts are kind of satire of satire.
Yup. The Menace of Mickey Mouse. I'm fucking sorry. the average person, the sap, who thinks of Mickey Mouse as simply as an animated cartoon of more or less present popularity among the bourgeoisie moviegoers, the saps. But Mickey Mouse, the pest, is more than that. Mickey Mouse is a deliberate capitalist plot. It is, by the way. But,
No, it isn't.
Let's see. The House of Mouse was slowly but certainly absorbing all forms of media. They took over fucking Fox Oz. They own Fox. They own Star Wars. And they're ruining it. They're ruining capitalism.
I do love how this is clearly making fun of like how everyone is so obsessed with like every little thing being a conspiracy, even in the 1930s.
We can prove it. As Trotsky once said, Mickey Mouse is but opium of a people. Do you inhale? While the speakers in the Union Square shout their message of communism in raspberry red threats with harsh irritants to help bring on the red revolution. What do the workers do? We give you one guess. You're right. They go to see Mickey Mouse. Think of it. A mere mouse on a screen is more an attraction than a screaming speaker on a street. Is this not deplorable? And what does it signify? It means, gentlemen, I mean, workers, that the revolution is in danger. That the red flag may wave in vain, while people think it means it means only an open manhole. Comrade, shall we stand idly by and allow this movie mouse, this Hollywood rat, this pen and ink rodent to steal our audience? No, a million times no. No. In Russia, the same rodent would be shot behind the Kremlin. Also true, if the comrades could hit him. In America, if a man builds a better mouse, the booking agencies beat a path to his door. In Russia, all mice are provided by the state. That is the difference between Russia and America. The moral is obvious. Mickey Mouse must go. Down with Mickey Mouse. Despite the obvious satire, some of this does hit to some truth. Weird truths, but truths.
This is such dry satire. I can barely tell it's satire if I didn't know this was coming from Ballyhoo.
So something I like is the reference that if you were to make a mouse character, because either A, you're trying to copy Mickey Mouse, or B, you're infringing. It will beat down your
Yeah.
door. Which is why you don't see that many mouse as characters, because well, either you're going to be accused of copying, or you're just literally infringing. So that's some hard truth right there, unfortunately. Um, Oh, I love this. Comrades eat at Jake's lunch. Red herring, red cabbage, red-headed waiters. Ooh, and we're in the red. Wanted men and women to write for down for everything. No pay. Oh, buddy. Okay. Okay. Annual banquet nudist club. I bet it's actually a damn thing. Smoke Luckies. Where's Carl? There's a line due along in a minute. This is goon worthy. I'm gonna
If you say so.
I'm gonna put this over here. There's a guy in the tuba.
I love that.
But there's animals now.
Oh, sorry, I was checking something. Oh, that's strange. Brother, your whiskers are waterproof. As mine. What? Is that true? I guess that is true.
Yeah, they kind of have to be if they're always in water. Shit.
I don't know if that's very useful, but that's interesting to think about.
That's Baby and his nurse when he was 2.
Ah,
Oh,
people in the 1930s were as much perverted as we are today. I'm now convinced.
as much? I don't know. But they are showing they are perverted. But as much, I don't know about that one. Curious Books, privately printed. The largest publishers in the United States of privately printed books. Okay.
Oh, as you say that.
Now look at this fucking drip lord.
Wait, what is the title? Amatory cure. Oh, it's just people with weird biology.
That is some literal drip. Look at this man. He's a complete unit.
Oh, they specify. We don't care about race. We're just looking at weird people.
And Butterfingers.
Baby Ruth. A lot of these are still by Jiminy. Dip.
Now.
Ruby Ruth's lime drops.
What the fuck is
Lemon.
it? I'm looking it up. Ruby Ruth's lime drops.
I assume they're just like lifesavers.
Yeah. They seem to be just that actually. But
by Jiminy. 1 second.
that
That sounds like a threat. Jiminy. No, I will not buy Jiminy. That's illegal. There's a problem. When I try to look this up, the only thing that comes up is dog treats. Candy.
It might have been a candy that was like very obscure for its time.
There it is. Found it. No one knows about this. It just goes back to the company who made it.
Yes, right, it's an obscure candy.
I assume it's a chocolate bar. Actually, it says on the front, doesn't it? A wonderful peanut bar? I think that says peanut.
Yeah, peanut.
Ah, so it's like a payday.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, this is a very neat advertisement. It's showing candies that we are very much aware of today. I didn't know how old Butterfingers were until right now. Because like
Fair enough. It'd be like
to
that.
me, I thought they were like within like the last 50 or so years. But you're telling me, okay, they were introduced in 1923.
Yeah.
Did not realize they were that old. Delicious. So now we're going on to our actual stuff, which includes Weird Tales. And today, in this lovely adventure, we have The Trail of the Cloven Hoof, an astounding weird mystery novel by Arlton Addy. Also, Bizarre and Unusual Stories by H.P. Lovecraft, E. Hoffman Price, Harold Ward, and Paul Ernst.
Considering his current reputation, it is kind of wild to see H.P. Lovecraft just as like one of the side guys here.
Yep. So, fortunately, we have a lovely listing here we will take a gander at, and we'll see how far they go. Hopefully, they're not all that damn long. I'll read like a page or two. We'll see.
Let me see. So the Wild Grape seems only. Oh, Magic Carpets is like one page,
Magic Harvest could be cool.
and
Uh,
Wild Grapes is only 80. Is only like 3 pages.
Alright, we'll gander at Wild Grapes, and we'll gander at, of course, Magic Carpets. Let us zoom looking forward.
Um,
Here we go. Alright. Wild Grapes
a
by
strange little
August.
story about the white cloud that hang over an unmarked grave of a murdered man. Okay. All right. Can I start this one off?
Yeah, I just want to read the damn title, damn it. You interrupted me.
Oh, sorry.
Wild Grapes by August W. Durr.
I wasn't trying to interrupt you. My bad.
Alright.
All right. So the echo of his neighbors' mocking voices lingered in Luke Adams' mind. Wild grapes, scornfully said, pityingly whispered from mouth to ear, from farm to farm and into Sac Prairie. Standing there on his rickety porch, he smiled, his grim lips curving only slightly, his eyes hard and cold. His gaze went from the farmyard across the fields to the clump of cedars fringing his land to the southwest, dividing the trees from the field where the wild grapes he had planted. He had planted them at night. Did those fools think of that? Not they. And the better for him, darkness was a welcome cloak for his work, since the body would not have been handled in the daytime. Twilight did not obscure the strong green of the wild grapes. He considered them in the growing darkness, the long line of them curving along the slope, and finally drove his eyes to the thick clump growing where the body of his uncle Rasa lay. He complimented himself again on the sagacity he had shown in the setting wild grapes to grow on the spot where the body was buried. No expense had been incurred, and the broken earth on the edge of the field had been excited. No comment but the scornful voices of his farming neighbors, who thought him crazy to go to any trouble about wild grapes when there were so many of them in the bottoms not far from his land. He was glad, too, that the old man had the reputation for taking long and mysterious journeys and staying away for months at a time without communicating with anyone. All the old man's friends nodded solemnly and said, Ross has gone on another tear. No one had suspected anything. Luke had.
My bad.
Luke uh, could appreciate the irony of their laughter over his wild grapes. The stars brightened, and the afterglow faded to a fan of emerald light flung upward against the western sky. Luke lit his pipe and watched the slow smoke trail upward from his lips. A whippoorwill began to call from the bottoms. Abruptly, a small dark shape dropped noisily to the roof of the corn crib and shrilled its fruit-like call to the gowning night. Oh, it's not racist. It's a bird. Uh, Luke thought of the legend about. Next page, please. Thank you. Do you want to read this page?
Sure. Whippoorwill's calling for a dying man's soul. He caught up a clod of earth and flung it at the bird on the corn crib. Get out, he muttered harshly. You got Uncle Rasa. You don't get me. He laughed at his words grimly. One by one, the whippoorwills assaulted the silence, and from the sky came the harsh calls of the nighthawks and woodcocks. An owl hooted mournfully from the grove of cedars. Presently the moon pushed itself into the sky above the low range of hills to the east, and long shadows haunted the ground. Thinking of his uncle, Luke experienced a shudder of irritation at himself that he had not killed the old man with one blow. They'll get you for this, Luke, and if they don't, I will. He had time to say it before the second blow, and he had cursed him too. Luke smiled, took his pipe from his mouth, and spat at the stone not far from the porch steps. I was supposed to mention this because did you know the Butterfinger originally had a secondary product called Butterfinger chips? I know, right?
No, thank you. I'm good.
Come on, Rosa, he murmured. I'm still waiting. He felt the warmth creeping over him at the satisfactory knowledge of his ownership of his uncle's farm. He had always wanted it, and now it was his, even if the fools whereabouts considered him only a caretaker. Would it be plain to them that the old man was never coming back? Even they would have to acknowledge him as owner. He knocked out his pipe presently and stood up, stretching himself. Then he turned to go into the house. From the threshold, he looked once more towards the line of wild grapes, fixing his eyes on the large clump in the center, now lost against the dark background of the cedars. As he looked, he reflected that he had never before aware of that patch of sky showing through between the trees above the grapevines. Even as he thought it, the sky moved gently to one side. For a breathless moment, Luke felt a shock of terror. Then he took a deep breath, pressed his lips firmly together, and stared long and hard at the patch of sky. The sky wavered a little, moved casually to the north, and drifted southward again. It was not the sky. It was a whiteness above the secret grave, seen out against the cedars, not the sky showing through the beyond. Luke flung himself into the house, banging the door behind him, and stood with his back against it. The sweat flicked his forehead, and his hand shook despite his determination to control himself. He assured against himself that he had seen nothing but his eyes in the night and combined to play a ghastly trick on him. Presently, he moved away from the door. He halted just before he reached the west window. Hesitation looped about his legs, stopping their advance. If he went forward, he would look out of the window and he would see the grave. Look at the grave, and his eyes might trick him again. He stood there, feeling that the house was pressing its walls towards him. A sense of ominous closeness enveloped him. Presently, he groped for a table. He found a lamp and a box of matches. He struck one and held the dancing flames of a wick. His shadow grotesque against the wall and the ceiling of a small, poorly furnished room sprang the dubious life. A feeling of security returned to him with the light, and he sat down at the table, resting his head on his clenched fist. The noise of the whippoorwills.
Oh yes, sorry. Oh yes. Dinned into the room, insistence in the wealth of the flute-like notes that welled across the fields from the lowlands and the marsh beyond. As he sat listening to them, an unreasonable anger grew at their call, and he determined to go whippoorwill hunting in the morning, intent upon paying them back for the fright he had got. The fear having gone completely out of him, he rose abruptly and strode boldly to the window. He looked out. The white mass had grown. It lowered threateningly above the row of wild grapes, uncanny movement breaking its outlines. As he looked, the moonlight faded suddenly, clouds blanketing it away from the earth, and as the white shape against the cedar seemed to glow as if from some inner light, he fell back from the window, his heart pounding with the maddening insistence there was something at the grave. Terror possessed him suddenly, terror driven into a fierce life at the fear that somehow Rasa Adam was coming back to get him, as the dead man had promised. He had made a frantic calculation. It was almost a month now since he had killed the old man. No one had suspected, no one had come for him. No solid flesh could rise from the grave. Yet the old man had said he would return if Luke. The door swung suddenly. Oh, that's a good break. Actually, that's really clever. The door swung suddenly wide, forced open by a gust of wind, and the night gaped blackly beyond. Lamplight lit the porch floor tentatively. Fingers of flickering light turned back by the darkness. Luke looked out through the doorway toward the southwest, where the grave was. The white thing was still there, moving with the wind, now this way, now that, and occasionally there was flapping white arms seeming to beckon him, or grotesque heads lolling horribly against the night. He dragged himself from the room to the porch, where he'd lean against a post, looking with fear-maddened eyes towards the line of wild grapes. There was something about that whiteness, something that had brought sudden hope to him. He stared, cold sweat smarting in his eyes. Then he remembered phosphorus from decaying bodies. He had read of that somewhere. It sometimes happens, so-called ghosts in the graveyards were nothing but phosphorus. He remembered reading about it. He almost sobbed in relief, for a moment laughed weakly at himself. He tempted his relief with the thought that he had better make sure about the phosphorescence. Immediately another thought occurred to him and brought apprehension. If it were phosphorence, someone might have possibly might notice and investigate, though the spot was out of sight of all farmhouses and the roads, save the poorly marked trail to his own house, and in sight of the strange fields only during the day. He stepped from the porch, leaving the lamplit doorway open behind him, and strode away into the darkness, frightening up whippoorwills as he went. The damn birds. As he went into the southwest 40, uneasiness took possession of him as he at recognition of the fact that the phosphorence did not fade, and it seemed to have descended more closely about the clump of grapevines growing from the spot where the body lay concealed. He halted uncertainly 10 feet from the vines and looked. The whiteness was phosphorescence. He was sure of that. He felt vaguely that it ought to be by rights to be closer to the ground, but he could not be sure, and it moved oddly.
Alright. Sometimes with the wind, sometimes not. There was a very odd shape to it, too. He felt misgivings and cast a glance backward, for the reassuring sight of the rectangle of the light from the house, despite a sudden feeling that he should go no further. He stepped forward, he came up to the massive vines and looked carefully down at the unmarked spot where he had nocturnally buried Rosda Adam almost a month ago. The ground seemed oddly broken. He pushed away from the grapevines, and peered closer. Suddenly he felt something close about his ankle. Something whipped towards his uncovered head. He jerked upward and felt his arms too caught. Then he looked up. His hoarse terror-fraught screams were muffled by the quivering mass of grapevines, which descended upon him, rustling like an echo of Ralph Adams' dying voice, presenting it moving vengefully alive. He was found 2 mornings after. He had been strangled there, were still vines oddly wound about his throat. It was said in Sac Pire that he had probably entangled himself somehow and had caused his death. Everybody said it served him right. In his struggles, he had kicked up the ground so that the body of Russell Adams was discovered. The farmers who dug the old man out said that he was not a pleasant sight. The big grapevine which Luke had planted above his victim grew itself firmly into decaying flesh and clung fiercely to the body when they moved it.
Ah.
Magic Carpets by Ethel Morgan Dunham. Crinkled petals, pink or white, hanging by a thread. Crinkled petals purple, crinkled petals red. Form your plume like fleecy balls, flaunt them in the breeze. All throughout the summer, riling the trees. But when autumn days appear, our clouds are dark, fall down slowly on the ground, mingle with the bark, that was shed before the leaves, now a salmon sheen, make weird carpets of the grass, veil living green. And
That's
that
cool.
is.
I'm glad they have stories of all lengths.
Yep. This one feels more like a damn whole poem.
Yeah.
um, Yeah, this is a most definitely a damn weird tale. The grapevines killed him. That's either a sudden case of very aggressive plant life, spiritual bullshit,
Mm.
or pure stupidity because he was probably like drunk or some shit. So that is weird tales. Will it make a comeback? Who fucking knows? Maybe, probably.
Probably, yeah. What do you think of that story, by the way?
It was okay. It felt very predictable. Like at the midway portion, I'm like, yeah, this guy's gonna die.
I think it was kind of cool that the grapevine strangled him.
Yeah, that's the cool part. I'm like, but man, was this really avoidable death? It really was. Just don't leave the damn house, or B, fucking follow your damn gut and just not go any further. That's what I'm like. Man, this is one of the most preventable deaths ever. He almost had the bag, but now we have Secret Agent X. Look at his head.
What is that? It's how many drugs? How many
So,
psychedelics were taken to generate this image?
so this is our first quote, official like pulp protagonist esque thing going on here, where we will see a continuous character. So essentially, like a damn comic book before comic books were a thing just yet. I think. Um,
And if I'm not mistaken, it is like continuous, but these are all still different authors, is that correct?
Varies. Sometimes it's the same exact offer, other times it is not. But usually they almost always continue off where the last one left off, and they also will reference events from that stuff.
That's got to be interesting. That's a really weird way to write. I really like that. Imagine writing someone else's story and then someone else writes beyond that and so on and so forth.
Yeah, it's something cool. I mean, it's done often with comic books, and I even believe
Yeah.
with TRPGs too. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a very weird but also very cool way to build up upon what the original person wrote, which is also why retcons are a constant in life these days.
Probably also in this as well.
Well, this only ran for like a decade, so I doubt there was that many retcons whatsoever, if any, actually.
Fair.
So this is let's check again here. Octopus is a crime, which runs for a lot of pages, in fact.
80. Whoa, my baby Jesus, 92
Yeah,
pages.
we're not reading all that, but we will read.
How about the secret cancel?
Yeah, that's one we will be reading. I like the Secret Agent X, which is it's currently not in the public domain just yet. It will be shortly. Um,
What's
but
it got, like 3, 4 years left?
yeah, which means I will be abusing the fuck out of it once it's free.
Yeah.
Although to be real, despite the fact that it's not in the public domain yet, it's also a very good possibility that the person that like made this did not renew their ownership over it, or they're dead and their kin did not renew it. So it might be like already out there. We don't know.
We should look into that.
Yeah, that's one of the things people often don't realize is that you don't really need to wait until the lapsing. You just need to wait and see if the person that made it renewed it or not.
And a lot of times for these smaller things, people just forget that they existed and don't feel the need to, or just don't care.
Yep. So let us zoom all the way up to page 90 fucking 4. Ooh, boys, me a lot of reading. Somebody was doing this shit.
There, no, I think yeah, it's the one right before. Yeah.
Here we go.
I think it needs, yeah, the secret council, right?
Yep.
All right. Paul comes into headquarters. A siren wails shrilly in the street outside. A speeding car flashes by with a grim-faced cop or detective at the wheel. Somewhere another crime has been committed. Murder, robbery, kidnapping, extortion, perhaps. But the average citizen, safe in his home or office, goes on calmly with his work. He doesn't get excited till the black menace of crime falls like a sinister shadow across his own path. Then it may be too late. Superintendent Arthur Fowler Neil, one of the famous Big Four of Scotland Yard, knew this. He said prevention is often better than cure. If all law-abiding citizens of the world should get together to prevent crime, it might be stamped out quickly. But the average citizen is busy with his own particular job. He hasn't time to give to the theories and methods of crime prevention. This is why carefully equipped, expertly manned police departments are maintained. That is why there are great detectives, investigators, and intelligence men giving service in war and peace. God, this is really getting me pumped. Such men are the defenders of their communities, states, and countries. They are glamorous figures, too. Brave, resourceful, patient, wanting to go home at 5, helping honest men and women to live in peace and security. Superintendent Nail served England for 40 years, catching many of Britain's most dreaded criminals. Big Bill Pinkerton, who began his career with the capture of a band of horse thieves and counterfeiters, helped to build up the mighty Federal Secret Service and saved hundreds of lives and millions in property in the United States. Deputy Inspector Carey, organizer of America's first great homicide bureau, devised new ways of trapping the most cunning murderers. Men of this caliber are always original in their methods. I don't believe that. Always seeking new roads to crime prevention and the punishment of evildoers. We of the Secret Council have again and again seen the resourcefulness and the originality of the Secret Agent X. In the octopus of crime, he was up against a unique type of criminal. The human fiend who styled himself the octopus had no ordinary motives behind his actions. His methods were not ordinary either. He put science to new criminal uses. It is the experience of all great investigators that no two crooks are exactly alike. Crimes may fall into classifications. Inspector Carey spoke of murder pictures when he came to the scene of a killing, that is, visualized images of how the crime had been committed. But the colors that those hideous mental murder pictures were painted in varied, and the criminals that Agent X had battled with may have been strange and varied types. Next month, another complete book length record from his thrilling casebook on crime to be presented in the readers of this magazine will be titled The Hooded Hordes. That was just an advertisement, but it
Wait,
was kind of
wait,
rad.
hold on. I love this fucking format. After they tell the whole fucking story, the octopus fucking story, whatever. They literally just give a whole damn behind the scenes of what they're doing here. I love this.
Yeah. This is how do I say this? I love these guys because you can tell they are way too passionate about this stuff, and it is awesome.
Oh, it's literally a shame it did not go longer for 10 years, but in fairness, in those 10 years, 151 fucking issues. There's a whole lot of content.
Yeah, it's a shame, but I feel like that's a good run.
Yeah, there are some things. It has a good run. It doesn't last too long though. It's a changing damn market, especially even more so considering the war. We get pulled into a war right around the time this thing is peaking.
Yeah, taste change too. Um, is this the one that's only a couple pages? The Hooded Hordes.
Yeah, the hooded horrors. We get to this one, and then that's it.
Okay, cool. Um, do you want to read the Hooded Hordes?
Yeah, the Hooded Hordes. A sinister secret society began a mushroom growth in every section of America. Agent X knew he was faced with something that was about to become a menace unparalleled. I really, really want to turn this into a fucking TRPG. I don't know why.
Secret spy stuff is cool.
He sensed that this amazing organization feeding vulture-like on human discontent and suffering might strike at the very heart of American government. X stood as a lone investigator above and beyond the organized forces of the regular Secret Service. But the accolade of honor for supreme achievement had been bestowed upon him. The secret sanction of the highest authority in the land was his. A message came straight from Washington asking him to combat the hooded hordes. What was this strange outlaw society that spread so insidiously? No one outside of mysterious membership knew. Agent X, aided by his own select group of skilled operatives, began to unearth ghastly facts. The Doax had left a black chain of murders across the map of America. Men whose throats had been sealed with molten lead. Oh my god. Jesus. were found. Men whose tongues had been stilled forever, with corpses grisly beards of
Oh
gray
God.
metal. To betray the secrets of the Doax was to court death. Oh my lord. In its most terrible form, to attempt to probe those secrets was to gamble with doom itself. But disturbing rumors reached the ears of Agent X. The threats of the Doax grew hourly and daily worse. They had another mysterious weapon of destruction, but left shattered, frightful wrecks of men. Holding out the tinsel bright lure of false ideals, the Doax scattered thousands into their ranks. Pistols and rifles cracked in the secret underground galleries, where misguided members practiced for the waves of death that was scheduled in to go country in fanaticalism. And it is burned like a devil's fire beneath the peaceful life of America. Recovering slowly from depression, the bloody tide of destruction rose higher and higher. Nightly men gathered in hidden hideouts, deadly as the black pits of hell. The agent himself was aghast. America did not know its danger. He saw the horror that threatened millions of innocents. If this thing were not to check in time, he saw all the shadows of greed and power behind the high-sounding phrases that were daily adding to the ranks of a Doax. Okay, this sounds super intense. I love this. He was on the spot when these men of mystery made their first bold thrust at the law and order. For they stormed the walls of a great state prison. Which one? There's like fucking 50. In their search for human prey, guards went down under the destructive forces that the Doax unleashed. Hate and fear screamed like mad ghosts through the bloody flames that pierced the night. Mystery cloaked the unsightly relics that death left in its wake. The agent, living up to his secret pledge as never before, plunged into the seething cauldron of horror. Snatching a man from the clutches of torture, he found those bony, brutal fingers directed towards him, and worse still, towards a life dear to him than his own. The very flesh and blood of reality fill this amazing chronicle of crime. The secret agent has to make a decision that lays bare for a moment the stark and naked drama of his life. His wits, his courage, and his genius for disguise are balanced against a human emotion that is greater threat than the satanic fury of an unseen enemy. He is shaken as never before. Go with Secret Agent X as he battles the hooded hordes that threaten America. Join thousands who are following the chronicles of his ceaseless warfare on crime. And when we of the Secret Council, warm friends of Agent X, will be glad to receive comments concerning his adventures, many letters have come in, and others will be welcome. Those which bring up interesting arguments and problems to discuss will be published here and address your letters to the Secret Council. Periodical House 56, West 45th Street, New York. You know the gist. I love this. This is really some really innovative shit for this time frame.
Yeah. I'm liking this.
Like, I never found TRPGs shit like they do this shit now all the damn time, but seeing this in like a fucking pulp, ooh. I actually wonder if so. One thing you might know, Oz, is that a lot of games, movies, and TV shows they will often get like letters and like shit like emails. But hey, here's a really cool idea. Why don't you use it? If you didn't know this already, they almost never do because when you do that, you basically like open them up to basically like being liable to being sued. Like, oh, you used my idea and you didn't credit me. And they don't want to deal with that. It's a whole thing, and there was a whole major lawsuit, and that's why nobody does that anymore. Unfortunate, people had to ruin it like that.
I know.
But this is really cool. I don't know if we'll bring back Agent X, but we just might, just because this was really interesting. I like how they have a whole like grouping where like we're a secret council, we're the developers just talking your shit, dude. Yeah, we might bring this back. We might just bring this back. We'll see. But next up is a magazine that I didn't. I'm be real. We might not see this one ever again, but it's something cool to talk about. It's called The Jinx. It's about magicians.
Yeah.
No, I did not stutter. It's about the magicians. I know, right?
I mean, it's even got Felix the cat on it.
Conceived, written, and published by Theodore Anman. The
Hmm.
Jinx is not a magazine, nor is it a crusading sheet with a ship on each shoulder and a woodpile in reserve. All offices, both in artistic and business sense, are held by one individual who has but a single thought in mind: that of supplying magicians and mystery entertainers in a large with practical effects and useful knowledge. Where the editor, and also owner and head office boy, finds his own knowledge lacking, he sets out with the ever at work's minds of the country's best amateur professionals, and therefore gleans the necessary information to keep his brainchild on an even keel, Lord, and and prevent lopsidedness from one track of logic. Whatever. The tricks will be good. The hints, tips, and miscellaneous matter that may creep in will be practical. Above all, price will remain a fraction in comparison with the value of information disclosed. You're a fucking magician, I guess. At time,
Hallucination. I feel like this has definitely been reformatted, but this is interesting.
yep. At times, your grammar may be bad. I'm glad you recognize this. But on other occasions, we can assure you that it will be usually read unusually well. We do not believe in promises or over enthusiastic statements of things to come. The fraternity at large is respectfully requested to accept the jinx from month to month with no boosting of fanfare, but simply on the merits of what it contains, for what it costs. Al Baker said that if a person can get one trick out of an issue, it costs them only a quarter. If they find two they can use, the cost is 12.5 cents each. However, if they find use for all three, it is a rare bargain. So, with a lifted glass instead of a broken bottle, instead of the Kristen, the first copy of a Jinx. In memory, I can't read that. Oh no, it says Theo, and I can't read the rest part.
Mm.
So, you want to read the hallucinations?
Yeah. The effect is totally new from the audience point of view, and that is something to be looked for in these days when effects are pretty difficult to evolve. The performer states that very few people have a retentive mind and remember what they actually see. He states that in every accident case, there are contradictory stories about what actually happened. To prove this, he takes out a deck from his case and shuffles, passing to a spectator and holding the deck very openly and fairly on his left hand. He asks the party, um, oh, sorry, I've lost my place. He asks the party to lift up the corner and look at the top card without a move or suspicious action. The performer passes to a second party, and they are requested to do the same and also remember the top card. Lastly, the third party is asked to look at the top card very openly. The performer deals it onto the spectator's palm or on something where it is in full view. Now, the performer repeats that he has made an actual test of his statement that no two people see things exactly alike. The first party is asked to stand and name the card that he saw on the top of the deck. He does. The second party then arises and names the card he saw, but he does, but it is totally different card. The third party stands and names the one he saw, and it is still a different card. The performer shrugs his shoulders and tells them that they are all wrong. The third man turns over the card on the table, or that he's holding, and it is the Joker. The deck may then be tossed out if desired. It will be readily seen how the effects lend itself to comedy if not too blatant. The effect upon the audience is good and will always be remembered. I advise the performer to call attention to at the start that he is not performing any sleight of hand or card trickery, but is just making an experiment in observation. Ooh, wonder what the method is.
All right,
Like
method.
all good things. Oh, sorry, did you want to read this?
Nah, you got this, man.
Like all good things, the actual working is simple and makes use of one of picked cards as per the illustration. A half an hour's work will make this card, and it is composed of only two cards to start with: a picture card and a deuce. Cut the picture card in half down through the middle. Cut the deuce in half across the center. Both cards have thus been halved, but in different directions. You can now put these two halves in a dish of cold water and leave for 15 minutes. Then split each one halfway. Cut off the split black of half the deuce and the split half of the picture card without letting them dry and without adding any paste or glue, whatever. Uh, Laths halves together as pictured. Put between clean blotters and let dry overnight under a heavy weight. If this is done cleanly, neatly, and accurately, as is very easy, you have a perfect looking card from the back, except for the missing corner. And it is as flexible as any other card in the deck. When perfectly dry, take a good rubber eraser and you can rub up half of the pip on the deuce. Now, with jet black India ink, very carefully draw in the ace of spades as illustrated. Then it is ready to be used. Oh, this is clever.
They are literally giving us all the secrets. All the secrets.
Lay this card on top of the deck and have the Joker underneath. When you take the deck from the case, shuffle but keep these two on top. The cutout end is nearest to you. Now hold the deck face down on your left hand with the cut out end still at your end. As long as the cards are always kept squared, the back blends and the cut out will never be seen or cannot be seen. After using the patter suggested step to the first party and have him lift the right hand to the corner top and note it. Without making a move, step to another person at a little distance and have him do the same. But he lifts the left corner and the notes card. All you have to do is present this corner to him to lift without saying anything other than he is also to note the top card. It is rather strange, but how no one seems to realize that the index would not be at that corner if the deck is held so that the corner nearest to them. And the same time, the performer tells them to also lift and look at the card. They will do it. Thus, two people have seen different cards without the performer changing position of the deck in hand or making a move. Now, the performer starts towards the third party and merely squares up the deck very simply and openly, but in doing so turns the deck. This party also lifts and looks at the right hand corner, and immediately afterwards, the performer very deliberately deals the top card face down on the table. However, the missing corner of the effect card makes a perfect second deal possible, and the Joker is the one dealt. The effect is over, except for the climax. During the naming of the cards and the general interest and comment caused at this time, the top effect card is palmed off, pocketed very simply. This leaves everything clear, and a great impression has been made. You will find that the audience will give you a lot of credit for this feat. They'll consider you a great card man, and will talk about you the way you must have switched or changed the cards of how fast it must have been done. That is really smart.
So this came from Mr. Eddie Clever, which I have just researched. He was a real person. He wasn't some like, hey, this is my idea. No, he was an actual damn magician. But he was also an editor at Hocus Pocus Parade column in the Linking Ring from 1944 to 1968. Yes, he actually writes a book relatively soon enough in a piece of our current timeline. Is he writes a book in 1939 called Fault Wings Onward and Entertaining Children with Magic. And finally, one last book in 1945, The Futuristic Foursome with J.G. Thompson Jr. He is one of the few people of note that unfortunately contracted multiple sclerosis. Unfortunately, yeah, and unfortunately would end his career.
That's a pretty good magic trick, though. Holy shit.
Yup. It is always cool to see these very niche things all come together.
Yeah, but that's Jinx. I'm assuming it's just a magazine full of these magic tricks.
Effectively.
Yeah.
You know what? This is something this is something I've been reading. You don't have to read this. This is mine.
That's fair. It does look pretty cool. I feel like you're just gonna be sending me right to magic tricks.
Yeah, I actually really like reading these. This could be a neat thing to include, every now and then. Just hey guys, let's see some magic tricks. It won't be a mainstay, but we'll do it like at least 2 more times just to see how it goes.
Yeah, if we see an issue of Jix, we'll read some stuff.
Finally,
The fantasy fan.
yep. Our readers say, I don't care what readers say.
This is an interesting magazine, right? It's basically Weird Tales was getting a lot of love for their fantasy stuff, so they made a whole magazine just for their fantasy stuff.
Was this by them?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Weird Tales made an offshoot magazine for their fantasy stuff.
Hold on, I want to see something real fast.
Yeah.
No, this is by a different company. Well, by a different
Oh,
person
never mind.
entirely.
I'm thinking of a different magazine.
Yeah, the Fantasy Fan was made by Charles Horning, but one of the most notable things, which is Conan the Barbarian, we actually literally see one of the pieces that's very iconic in the entire mythos and lore of it, literally right here, the gods of the North.
Huh. Hell yeah.
So we'll read this a little bit. I'm gonna zoom in here and read this shit.
Okay.
All right, Gods of the North by Robert E. Howard, which I believe is also the same person who made Conan. I will fact
You are
check
correct.
that.
You are correct. It's
Lovely.
Robert E. Howard, the weirdo himself.
The clangor of swords had died away, but shouting of the slaughter was hushed. Silence lay on the red-stained snow. The pale, bleak sun glittered so blindly from the ice fields. The snow-covered plain struck sheens of silver from from rent corset and broken blade. Where the dead lay in heaps, the nerveless hand yet gripped the broken hilt. Helmeted heads back drawn in death throes, tilted red beards and golden beards grimly upward, as if for invocation to Ymir, a frost giant. Man, they're going hard as fuck with this one. Across the red drifts, in mail-clad forms, two figures approached one another. In the utter desolation, only they moved. The frosty sky was over them. The white, illimitable plain around them. The dead men at their feet, slowly the corpses they came, a ghost midnight, come to a tryst, through the shambles of a world. Their shields were gone, their corslets dinted, blood smeared their mail, their swords were red, their horn helmets showed the marks of fierce strokes. One spoke, he whose locks and beard were red, as the blood on the sunlit snow. Man of the raven locks, he said, tell me your name. Said that my brother in Vanheim. So that my brothers in Vanheim may know who was the last of Orpheus' band to fall for my sword of Hindel. This is my answer, replied the black-haired warrior. Not in Vanaheim, but in Valhalla. Will you tell your brothers the name of the mother of Achatina?
I love this voice.
Heimdall roared, sprang his sword, swung in a mighty arc. Amaras staggered, and his vision was filled with red sparks. The blade shivered into bits of blue fire on his helmet. But as he reeled, he thrust with all the power of his great shoulders. The sharp point drove through the brass scales, and bones in the heart. And the red-haired warrior died at Amara's feet. Good for him. All right. You want to get this part?
Yes. Could you mouse over it?
It's right here.
Okay. Amra stood swaying, trailing his sword, a sudden stick weariness assailing him. The glare of the sun on the snow cut his eyes like a knife, and the sky seemed shrunken and strangely far. He turned away from the trampled expanse where yellow bearded warriors lay locked with red haired slayers in the embrace of death. A few steps he took, and the glare of the snowfields was suddenly dimmed. A rushing wave of blindness engulfed him, and he sank down into the snow, supporting himself on one mailed arm, seeking to shake the blindness out of his eyes as a lion might shake his mane. A silvery laugh cut through his dizziness, and his sight cleared slowly. There was a strangeness all about the landscape that he could not place or define, an unfamiliar tinge to earth and sky. But he did not think long of this. Before him, swaying like a sapling in the wind, stood a woman. Her body was like ivory, save for a veil of gossamer. She was naked as the day. Her slender bare feet were whiter than the snow they spurned. That's a condition. She laughed, and her laughter was sweeter than the rippling of silvery fountains, and poisonous with cruel mockery. Who are you? Demanded the warrior. What matter? Her voice was more musical than a silver stringed harp, but it edged with cruelty. That's the second time you've said that, Howard. Call up your men, he growled, grasping his sword. Though my strength fail me, yet they shall not take me alive. I see that you are a Vanir. Have I said so? He looked again at her unruly locks, which he had thought to be red. Now he saw that they were neither red nor yellow, but a glorious compound of both colors. Ooh, that's actually kind of a cool visual. He gazed, spellbound. Her hair was like elfin gold, striking which the sun dazzled him. Her eyes were neither wholly blue nor wholly gray, but of shifting colors and dancing lights and clouds of colors he could not recognize. Her full red lips smiled, and from her slim feet to the blinding crown of her billowy hair, her ivory body was as perfect as the dream of a god. Umbra's pulse hammered in his temples. I cannot tell, said he, whether you are of Vanaheim or mine enemy, or of Asgard and my friend. Far have I wandered from Zingara to the Sea of Viliet, in Stygia and Kush. Oh, those are real places. And the country of the Hyrcanians. But a woman like you I have never seen. Your locks blind me with their brightness. He had a thing for hair, Mr. Howard. Not even among the fairest daughters of the Aesir have I seen such hair by Ymir. Quick, quick pause. I have never actually read anything by Robert E. Howard. I can tell he has a thing for certain things about people, but God, he's a wow. This right, holy moly! I love this. The way he describes things.
It is
Uh,
really good.
I know. I can. This is making me like, damn. I need to read Conan. What the? I've been missing out. What is the man? Sorry. Uh, who are you to swear by Ymir? She mocked. What know you of the gods of ice and snow? You who have come from the south to adventure among strangers. By the dark gods of my own race, he cried in anger, I've been backward in sword play, stranger or no. This day I have seen fourscore warriors fall, and I alone survived the field where Wolf Hears Arivas met the men of Bragi. Tell me, woman, have you caught the flash of mail across the snow plains, or seemed armed men moving across the ice? I have seen the hoarfrost glittering in the sun, she answered. I have heard the wind whispering across the everlasting snows. He shook his head. Niord should have come up with us before the battle joined. I fear he and his warriors have been ambushed. Wolfir lies dead with all his weapon men. Also, you forgot to close out that quote. Uh, I had thought there was no village within many leagues of this spot, for the war carried us far. But you can come. That's two butts in a sentence. You need not do that, Howard. Uh, but you can have no come no great distance over all these snow, naked as you are. Lead me to your tribe, if you are Asgard, for I am faint with the weariness of strife. How long does this go on?
For a while. Um,
Yeah,
so
but yeah.
this is really fucking. This is some high quality shit. This is most definitely might be a quote unquote mainstay, but it doesn't last too long, so not that much of a mainstay.
We got to read some stuff from Mr. Howard, or maybe we can't because even in this short one, oh boy, Mr. Howard was a horny bitch,
Yeah, he was getting very descriptive.
and I mean like I'm gonna be real with you. If I was a nerd in the 1930s, which there were, um, and I could barely talk to a woman, I'd love this shit. This would be amazing. This would be perfect. There would be nothing better on this planet than this kind of story. This is badass. I think what's the description I always use? This is pure testosterone. Is
Yeah.
how I would describe this. This is like, you know, when people complain about like the male fantasy,
Yep.
they're not complaining about like Red Dead or like God of War. Maybe they're complaining about God of War. They're complaining about this. And as much as I love this, I get it. I get the complaint. Yeah, this is pretty misogynistic, but like
I don't know, man. Like at least in the case of God of War, Kratos is taking down everybody, male or female. It don't matter.
that's fair. That's fair. He's an equal opportunity horn dog.
Yeah. In fairness, this is a product of its time, and
Yeah.
it's a product that it never really evolved. Like it still exists today, by the way. It never evolved, and it didn't need to. It and yeah, people complain, but it's not for you. It's like women's magazines. It's not for men. There's a reason why it's targeted at a certain demographic.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting point, and if you disagree in the comments, that's fine. You can tell us why. But I feel like complaining about stuff like this being sexist is like complaining about Harlequin novels. Do you know what a Harlequin novel is, Scyther?
Yes.
Yeah. It's like complaining about Harlequin novels or like really trashy women's magazines. Like you can enjoy whatever you enjoy, and I feel like we regardless of what side or I feel like we shame people too much for what they enjoy, especially if they're not hurting anyone with it. Let people enjoy whatever stories make them happy,
Now let's cipher.
as
Oh,
long as they aren't acting on them.
now let old Papa cipher. Break it down for all you slow people in the back. Stop being fucking snowflakes and let people enjoy what they fucking want. See, much more simple.
I like to use precise language, Scyther.
You can be precise all you want, but hey, it's a lot easier, at least in my case, to be more blunt. People need to understand that they are snowflakes, and they need to let life be life, because not everybody's gonna agree with them, because they're in their own little bubble, and so are we. We enjoy our bubble. Let us enjoy our fucking bubble, goddammit.
Yeah, let's just try not to get too philosophical, but I will end on this. Let's just all be happy. Let's just enjoy what we enjoy and not bother other people about what they enjoy, as long as they're not hurting anyone. Maybe that makes me a bit of a filthy libertarian, but that's just how I view things. But anyways, um, I think I've had enough reading for today.
Yeah, we
Uh,
had a very decent stream. This is going for an hour and 30, almost 38 minutes.
yeah.
The magazines of 1934. Ooh, man, these are some bangers.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. That was really fun.
Yeah, even the ones I didn't think were going to be particularly good, like the Jinx, it ended up being good.
Yeah, no, I think this was a really positive experience personally. I'm sure you agree.
Yeah, the only one that was kind of milk toast was the Time magazine, but it was kind of fucking funny, so it redeemed itself in the end.
Also, it's Time magazine. It's Milk Toast the magazine.
Yeah, I think next time when we do magazines, we'll probably do a similar lineup. We'll probably include some new ones. It really depends.
Yeah. I mean, and as we joke, infinite content. There's always more magazines to talk about. We can go back. If you guys in the comments have any magazines or any stories from any magazines that you'd like us to read, tell us the magazine and or where it's from, and we'll look into it because we really enjoy this. I don't know about you, but this is really fun.
Yeah. I truly enjoy this because magazines are like my favorite thing to look through thus fucking far. I'm sure
Yeah.
eventually we'll get to that point where like, I won't say magazines will be like phased out of our fucking viewing, but there'll be so much content where we'll start doing it less. Because well, magazines end up dying down eventually. It'll happen slowly but certainly.
I also feel like it's important to note with that, like, it's not necessarily that they die down ever, but they're less culturally relevant. What I think is going to end up happening, Scyther, is because we're going to be getting more magazines, we'll probably cover them in a topic that's related, right?
Yep.
If we're talking about video games of like 1992, we'll probably be referencing magazines for our sources.
Yep. It is quite possible we'll end up start merging certain subgroupings into the main grouping. Well, like you said, we'll cover, let's say, for example, video games of 1990. Well, of course, grab some magazines from 1990 that's also for games, and we'll view them then and there. It just really depends on how we're going to handle this. That's for future, though, because video games aren't really popping just yet. We're still well off.
We are, what's it, the 30s? We have another 40 years, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, because the 70s. But if you made it to the end of this, actually, before I end,
Mhm.
do you have any thoughts specifically about this year in the magazines we covered?
Well, this year has been very. I'm starting to notice something. The Reds.
Yeah, the Red Scare is becoming more of a thing.
Yeah. I'm starting to notice them being tossed around a bit more. Not just in the ones we saw, but in like my own personal like readings. I'm like, oh, they're being mentioned a whole lot more, and certain groupings in the Germany start getting mentioned more too. Oh boy.
Yeah. What's it with the zeitgeist is
Yep.
we're noticing some things in the cultural zeitgeist of the time. In 1934, people are scared about communism and fascism, though they're probably right to be worried about fascism considering what's going to happen in like 5 years.
But you would think, but the thing that like prolonged longer than the other would be banned, but it never was. The not the fascism part was banned, but the communism, no, it wasn't banned. You would think it would be, but it wasn't. So weird.
I suppose. Just my idea, right? And again, I'm not a political person. If you disagree, that's fine. I'm probably wrong. I wonder if it was like fascists tend to like violently overthrow countries a little bit more, or they tend to be a little bit more violent with their overthrowings than the communists. Other than the Soviets.
There's at every communist takeover. I don't know about that one, bud.
I fair, but like usually how it goes is that with fascism it's like there's a weak government, the fascists take over. With communism it's like there's a weak or there's a strong government. People want communism for some reason.
I don't
They don't get
know
it.
because this is just two examples. When the Soviets rose up in Russia, very, very, very weak government. They rose up in Cuba, very, very weak government. When they rose up in China,
True.
fractured government.
True. Um, so I'm wrong. Yeah, I'll admit that was dumb. Anyways, if you made it to the end of this very very fun, very strange stream slash video, thank you. We have some things in the pipeline, don't we? I am
Yeah,
coming out with my Carmilla review.
and it's slowly but certainly coming. The Legend lens. I'm busy. I'm fucking college. Leave me alone.
I think everyone who watches our stuff understands that we are not full time tubers.
Yeah. So look forward to to Legend lens, and also I have two other projects I'm doing. The reading of how to define a visual novel, because I will be doing that on the channel. It's a whole new series. I'll be covering visual novels. After
Hell
that,
yeah.
I want to cover the first ever PC. And we're gonna go through a whole list of what that actually could mean and be, cause oh boy, it's more of just prep work, so we don't have to actually cover it in a video way later on. It's just prep work,
Yeah.
groundwork
And
for later.
and it's an interesting subject, which is what this channel is all about.
Yeah, that's something I actually want to do for a lot of things. Where obviously, in our current media journey, tabletops aren't a thing just yet. But like war games exist, but tabletops don't. And I actually want to cover tabletops, and the what's the first tabletop? Oh, I don't know. Some loser might say D&D, which it was the first commercially tabletop, but actually there's three others. And
I'm excited. We have a lot of fun stuff coming up. A lot of like really interesting niche. If you are like us and you like niche knowledge that no one else knows about, the next couple months are going to be filled with that kind of stuff.
yep.
I
Oh.
don't mean literally no one else, but most people. Um,
Yeah. Maybe one day I'll bring back a childhood banger. I'll start reviewing the remotes. Totally.
please don't.
Imagine that's the fucking most damn views ever. We will ever top that fucking remote review.
I don't want to think about that. Anyways, if you want to do all the YouTube stuff, that's just a bonus. And we'll see you next time.
See you, peeps.